Hello, Joe, Jerry. How
Hi
are
there.
you guys?
We're doing great.
First of all, congrats on Top Gun Maverick. Not only did one hell of a movie, but a perfect sequel, guys. A big challenge because Top Gun, as it was already a jewel. I want to start with you, Mr. Jerry Bruckheimer. You're one of my all-time action legends. What made you decide to go ahead and make this beautiful sequel 36 years later?
Well, we always wanted to bring another Top Gun to an audience. It just didn't happen until Joe came up with a story that Tom loved and we loved. He just has a wealth to draw on. For his performance, he's a better producer than I'll ever be. He knows everybody's job better than they do because he's been doing it so long, and he doesn't suffer fools. He really is a hard charger. He's somebody you want on your side. He's somebody who cares more than anybody on how good the movie is. And it's just not about his part, it's about the film. He loves the process. He loves making movies. He loves getting up in the morning and going to work. And that's so invigorating for everybody around him. So that's with the impetus to get this movie off the ground again.
Joe, I'm curious because you made a career out of CGI and digital productions. Your first movie was the sequel of Tron from Disney, totally digital. But now you're directing a movie almost entirely made out of real action with little or non-computer graphics. How challenging was that for you?
I love capturing stuff in camera. I think because I came up making movies like Tron Legacy with 18 months of post and know how hard it is and how hard you have to work to get something to get even close to being real. The ability to capture it in the moment gives you all these things that you can just never fake, no matter how hard you try. I love the challenge. I love, since I was a kid, I've loved airplanes, aviation. I studied it for a while in school. So for me, this was the challenge of figuring out how to shoot this film was really fun. I love the process of making movies. So we worked very closely with the Navy. My cinematographer, Claudio Miranda, and I worked with them for about 15 months to figure out how to put 6 cameras in the cockpits of these Super Hornets with the actors. And I just think the results speak for themselves. You just can't fake what we were trying to achieve. And what we were going for in the cockpit photography and the experience we wanted to give the audience was something very visceral, very real. And the challenge of figuring out how to do that, for me, is the fun part of the job.
Jerry, I want to ask you about something that's very important in the Top Gun franchise, if I can call it that, and it's the music, the songs. Top Gun had one of the most memorable soundtracks in the 80s with Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, Take My Breath Away from Berlin, the Harold Faltermeyer score that is back, by the way, thank you for that. Songs that became iconic. And now you have Lady Gaga. How was the process of choosing the theme song for this new movie? Because it is a big responsibility.
Well, we sat in an office, I guess about 3 years ago, maybe even longer, right, Joe? Mm-hmm. And she wrote a song for the movie. And it's always kind of scary for a producer to listen to a song by a world-famous, spectacular artist like Lady Gaga, because you might not like it. And how do you reject Lady Gaga? It was the exact opposite. It was a spectacular song. We fell in love with it. We got a hold of Tom, and I think we flew to London to play it for him and for Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, who did the score for the movie, loved the song so much he used the melody for the love theme. We were very fortunate that she wrote the song for the movie.
Something that I thought it was beautiful is the fact that the movie is dedicated to Tony Scott, who passed away almost 10 years ago. So, Joe, you were 11 years old when Top Gun was released. How did Tony Scott impacted your life so you decided to become a filmmaker?
Well, I remember seeing that film as a kid, and the aerial photography, obviously the aerial sequences, had a huge impact. Tony Scott, as a choice to direct that movie that Jerry and Don made is very interesting. He had made I think one film before that, The Hunger, which is a gorgeous film, but he's it was almost like an art film. And Jerry hires him for Top Gun, and what it created was a commercial summer blockbuster that just looked like nothing else before, because it had Tony's great eye and color palette and touch to it, and it just made something so iconic. So that obviously was burned into my brain, and my DP Claudio and I wanted to make sure that the audience, just like the character of Maverick, felt like we were all going back to Top Gun together. So we wanted to give it the same look and feel, but also figure out a way to innovate and push beyond what the first film was able to do, and kind of bring even, something else to these aerial sequences.
Well, I think Tony was involved in the very beginning, before we lost him. So some of the things that he was thinking about are still around and part of this movie, and Tony's a big part of the film, only because it's got the feel. Joe gave the feel that Tony would have given it, and I'm really so thrilled that Joe kind of brought something that Tony would have brought to the movie.
Well, Joe, Jerry, I gotta go, but hey, everybody who's watching this, go see this movie on the big screen. It's amazing. Congrats, and thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much.